everyone.
Yay!
Hey.
Wow, I just did the best introduction ever. So sorry it didn't get recorded. Welcome,
It'll never
welcome
happen again.
everybody. This meeting, if I is about already, that there can be a resonance with all is this already.
Yes. Already free. Mm.
I wrote something down again. Michael, if you want me to read
Yay!
Awesome.
it.
What a treat.
Arrogance and knowing had a love child. They named him Confusion. How ironic. I want to know. How do you know? How do you know that you know? What does pure, innocent awareness do when it's treated as an autonomous being? Well, look around. It tends to assume it's an autonomous being. And even in our languages, it's right there. The base assumption that there is someone who can be confused. How do you know that? Here we seem to be in this miraculous, chaotic soup of expression. Here there are infinite ingredients. Anything can be in the everything soup. Nothing makes sense here. Existential knowing is innocent ignorance. Knowing can taste like comfort food for a time, and then taste buds and palates can become more refined. The ingredients of openness can change the flavor of the whole soup. It can taste more like unknowing. Delicious. There is a field of resonance that doesn't include concepts of right and wrong, should and should not, correct or incorrect. Would you be afraid to go there? It's a place of humility. Anything goes already. This place is always here. It's the filter of knowing that seems to veil it. The veil is also allowed, and when it's seen through, it is obliterated from all of history. Oh, there was never a veil. The need to know can seem like a fog, thick with belief that this can be known. Another assumption, innocent and already allowed. Where is the one doing all of this shit? I bet you can't find them outside of a thought. Notice the chaos, what thoughts it seems to provoke, what feelings may arise. This is what seems to be. No amount of mental negotiation can change it. Notice that noticing happens as it does. The
Beautiful,
end.
stunning.
Damn. That was fire.
Oh,
Thank you. How freaking beautiful.
beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, I can hear it. Okay. Yeah, that's amazing. Nothing came through.
Yeah, this feeling of being alive. That's non-computational, without concept, without thought. That just is this beingness that everyone knows that they are. This pure conscious presence, this aliveness is what all the hype is about. That already is. It's already self evident. It's already realized. It's already self aware. It is pure awareness. It's what's perceiving this that is the source of this, making love to itself through everything. And just like in deep sleep, where you, as the Pada Brahman, the unmanifest, is all alone, is, through this beautiful dream of imagining what you're not, imagining the opposite. You're invisible, you're formless, but through this imagined form of infinite qualities, as your mirror, you can see yourself permeating everything. So, this conscious presence, this aliveness is everything. It is all there is. And it can't be separate. And it's non-conceptual. So being aware of that felt sense that you are is the original face. And it's too easy. It's too obvious that it can easily be overlooked with a thought, with a concept, but it's non-conceptual. It's without thought appearing as concept, appearing as thought, is the source. So that which is perceiving this sound of the voice is the source. And just like imagining a daydream or a dream at night, how can you be separate from it? You are it, you're pervading it, you're illuminating it, playing with yourself.
That was gorgeous, Ginny.
Oh, yay.
Yay.
Thank you. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
And that is the contentment, that is the happiness, that already is, that's already too obvious, that is the source of everything. And that's all there is this feeling I am, non-conceptual. So then it's seen that everything is that, every thought, every sensation, every appearance, it's all perceiving sensations, making love. It's all an ecstatic bliss, even the pain. Yeah, I remember I was like, what was obscuring it? That was my first question. I was like, what was covering it up? Because it was obvious that's what this has always been. What the hell? And then it was seen so clearly that it was just a simple misidentification with, identifying this pure sentience, this aliveness, this feeling I'm alive that has no words, with solely being this body and thoughts. And that's all it was. It was very simple. And that's what appeared to make the subject object illusion. And then it was like, holy shit, this sentience, this aliveness, this is all there is. That's what all of this is, not separate.
I was sharing today with a friend today. We were talking, and the other night, I think it was Wednesday night, um, the body was so tired and achy and not feeling well. And there was this impulse to just go to a meeting that night. And it was interesting to watch the body, get up, put some clothes on, and kind of get ready for the meeting. And I was sharing with her how it's there used to be thoughts that I would identify with, like, you shouldn't be doing this, you're tired, blah 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 blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
The identification with it, and yet beingness, there's no rhyme or reason, there's no asking questions why or any of it. It's just being seen, what it's doing. And there's a freedom to it. The I guess the non-freedom felt was in belief in thoughts, in beliefs in, you know, being in between what the body is doing and what the thoughts are saying. And the other night, it was just so effortless. It's just effortless. Um, and this has been here ever since I was a child. The difference, I guess, between now and then is just that there's just recognizing and seeing that I'm not the thoughts that arise, but they can be seen through and felt through. And every single time an emotion arises or a thought arises, this is the juice for me. This is where the juice is this week. This is what's been happening in the story, just seeing and sensing and feeling. And it's like you were saying, it's waking up to itself each time. It just wants to be seen and felt, even though there is no one there. Those energies are arising in this right here, in this vast, right here, right now. And it's so raw and it's right there. And sometimes it feels uncomfortable and sometimes it doesn't. Either way, whatever is happening and it's being seen and felt. Uh, Instead of being resisted. Uh, and then the next day it's fine.
How beautiful.
It's like it never happened. But
Yeah.
it's all part of it, all of it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what you resist persists. It's a homecoming. It just wants to come home. So stuff will come up, and if you resist it, it'll just keep trying to come home. And when it's felt without thought, it just dissolves everything and integrates, or it all comes home. It can happen instantly or it can appear gradual. It's amazing. It's all whole. It's all And what you said about the thought has nothing to do with what's appearing to happen. It cracks me up all the time. Like even the thought, Michael and I were just on the phone before the meeting, and I was like, I'm gonna shut up this time and be quiet and just listen. And then I've been talking the whole time. Has nothing to do, like all of it. It's just it's playful. It's just like and spontaneous. You have no clue what's gonna happen. It's like a dream at night. It's so fun.
You mentioned thoughts coming home. I think that's what you said, Ginny.
Hmm.
Could you talk more about that?
Mm.
Oh yeah, when there's a thought that's resisted, it'll just keep persisting. It's like nags you until you sit with you can sit with it and focus on the feeling, which is basically what I was saying in the beginning. The feeling I am is the dissolver. It dissolves the entire universe. So it dissolves everything. So if there's a divided thought, which is just like a identification with the thought, which there's always when there's an identification with this is my thought, and I'm a separate entity, a resistance comes up, which just like in the nightmare at night, it's that hardcore resistance and that even feeling of, or that sensation of fear that wakes you up from the dream. So you can tell when there's a resisted thought, and then integrating it is just feeling without thought, and it completely dissolves it. It comes home, everything comes home.
Is the thought trying to come home? I mean, does the thought is the thought is it yearning to come home?
Well, everything's already home, everything's already one, but when there's a seeming division, which is just a thought, a divided thought, there's this initial resistance that comes up that like alarms the system. It's like an intuition, which is screaming, this isn't separate, this isn't, and it's not even real. It's not, it's like, wake up. So everything, that's why there's that feeling of contraction or resistance. It's just the intuition screaming that this is all one, this is all, and this is just a dream. It's not real, which is this, that sensation of fear. That's what fear is. It's the alarm. It's alerting. And it's so intelligent because everyone already knows that they are. Everyone already knows they're the infinite. So yeah, it's like a home. It's like it can appear as a gradual homecoming. Like when it was obvious here that I've never been an individual, and this pure sentience, this pure aliveness, this feeling, which is beyond words, it's beyond mind, um, is everything. I could, right after that, just like unplugging a fan that's still oscillating, there was some habitual thoughts that came up that, were like, well, this can't be it. That thought, that cute little thought. And it was just coming home. And I could see it for what it was. I was like, oh my God, yes, I love you. Like, and everything's welcome. And then there's no, because when you see too that everything's you as the infinite, there's nothing to resist. So then when that resistance is gone, everything's allowed to be. So then every thought's allowed, everything, and you're not doing any of it. You can see that you're not even in the dream. You're not even in the movie, and none of this is actually happening. So yeah, those thoughts are just allowed to be, and they're playful and just impersonal sensations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
That was
Don.
Thank you so much. That's so beautiful.
Yay.
It's like it's like the thoughts come out of me and create a world, and now they're wanting to come home.
Yay.
Very
Yes,
beautiful.
it is. It is a homecoming.
It is a homecoming.
Yeah, and it's well when they're welcomed with open arms, then that's when they dissolve into the one that you are. And then there's no more. And then they some of them don't even come up anymore, you know, because they're integrated, you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing how everything in this dream is resonance. There is no physical, it's all mental. This is God's mind. You are God. So the even the dream qualities, it's all about resonance, you know, so it's like turning the dial on a radio station and resonating on a frequency, and the imagination renders evidence. It cherry picks the confirmation bias, so it's like it only selects what it wants to see, what it's resonating on, and then it renders the evidence. So anything can be proven, like all truths are half true and half false. It's empty potential. It can appear as anything. It's a magic show. So when I recognized that, and I was like, holy shit, that's like the sugar pill. It's like it can be anything. Whatever I resonate on, I can render evidence of. So then I started playing with that for entertainment. It was really like I experimented with it for years, and it was wild. Like I could just, but then I could see also how innocently, you know, with that thought or that resonating on the concept of being an individual, I, you know, that resonance rendered imaginary evidence of that. And then that was focused on playfully, because you, as the infinite that's invisible, this is how you see yourself, and how beautiful the love story of you that's infinite feeling what it's like to be mortal and finite. I mean, how stunning is that? To lose yourself in your own dream, and it's just stunning. All of it is so stunning.
It's always a little bit of a shock to me to realize that I am everything, that everything and anything, it's me, and there is no me separate from it.
Yes.
it there is no way to find some separateness in this. And yeah, it's always, it can feel like something gradual, but to me, it's always a sudden shock.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's amazing. Beyond words. And even logically, how can you be separate from this? You know?
Yeah.
It's just, it was too obvious all along. It cracks me up. Yeah.
So any specific appearance is already full proof of the totality.
Yeah.
Anything.
Oh, I love that. Totally. Yeah, this is self-evident. This is already realized.
Yeah, it can come as quite a shock when you realize that this doesn't need to know anything.
Already everything.
The body knows what to do.
Seems to find the toilet every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's everything and meaningless all at the same time.
Infinite meaning, whatever meaning you give it, which is malleable and changeable. And
You you already are what you seek is not a doing. It's a noticing. It's as if there was a piece of glass in front of you your whole life. And you never noticed the piece of glass that you were looking through because you were so concentrated on the different objects that the glass was invisible to you. And then suddenly you get quiet and suddenly you say, well, what is here without a thought? What doesn't depend on thoughts for its existence?
mm-hmm.
And so, like the glass, you can suddenly become aware of something. What that something is, you can call it what you like.
Yeah, what's perceiving this? That's it.
Yeah, but the perceiving and the perceived are the same, right?
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
totally.
Not to.
Yeah. What is this that's appearing without being aware of it? It wouldn't appear to exist. It is awareness. Self aware is just pure awareness.
I have a comment question.
Yeah.
Um, all my life, it seems like the teacher and the student or the master and the disciple have always been at odds, like they've always been separate. And yet that's just a construct from the split mind, right? It's an out picturing
Yeah.
this belief in separation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so freeing to let
Yeah.
that all just it's just dissolving, and it's a relief because there's always been this chasing after wanting to be like the teacher. I don't want to be a student anymore. I want to be a teacher. But I've never really wanted to be a teacher either. So, you got to be either or. And it's like, well, what if I don't want to be either? It's
Exactly.
it's like you got to pick a side, or you know, the world won't like it if you don't pick a side, because the world wants to dictate and define who you're going to be in this world, so to speak. But that's just another idea
Hmm.
projected out there to prove that
Yeah.
duality exists.
Yeah, and those beautiful limits, those beautiful illusory limits, which is just a limited thought, forces you to transcend it. It forces you to wake up from it. It's so beautiful. All of it is just total perfection. What for me, whenever I saw a limit, it was like instant myth busting. Like I had to destroy that. So cool.
No,
Thank
there's nobody in the body. There's no special master inside that body, or there's no
you.
confused student within that body.
There's not
It's
even
all
a
made
body.
up.
There's not even a body. That's the
No,
crazy part.
right. It's just a phantom or idea, image, plus judgments and ideas and placed on top of that.
Which is total perfection.
Right.
Yeah. It's all what you want. It's like making love to itself through all of every infinite experiences, infinite perspectives, infinite. Yeah. In a dream.
That's beautiful, Nina. Thank you. That was
Thank
beautiful.
you.
And
Yeah.
it's Nina. Yes.
Nina. Thank you.
Yeah, Nana, you can't be pinned down.
Mm. Too infinite to box in.
So there was no students and there was no teacher, and it's always been like that.
Hmm.
Just like the class, it's always been like that. It's always been there. As Michael was saying, there's always been a class. It didn't suddenly appear. It was always there as a constant.
Yes. Beautiful.
I like the silence in between speeches. It's like a silent voice saying it's not even that. Whatever is being said, it's not even that.
Hmm. Beautiful.
I have a friend who we sat song together a lot, back and forth and about nothing. And we just we just realized that nothing we say means anything. Like even though there's a belief that there's, oh, we've got an aha moment, or yeah, that's just resonates, and then we're like, well, don't believe anything I say. Don't even believe that.
Yes.
It's just showing up and then it's disappearing, and it's free.
It is. And it didn't even happen. It's wild. So wild.
By
It's
the
such a
way,
gift to have
It is.
these reflections. Nobody's,
Yeah.
even though that's still an illusion too.
I know. And how cool is it that we can, as one, invisible, formless, appear as friends? I mean, how beautiful is that?
That's the wish fulfilled.
Yay.
Yay.
And then Nana, you get to a place where you're not worried about sounding wrong because you know that it's not correct. The words are never correct.
Mm-hmm.
It just becomes like paint, like painting. It's just an expression.
Exactly. There's no fucking this up. It's literally everything. All inclusive includes everything. Every word, every way of expressing.
And you're like, I don't have to say apparently everything I say.
Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. It's all allowed. It's all free to play on the playground.
Yeah, Leela and I were talking on the phone yesterday, and it it's not just a not knowing, because we've all heard that. Oh, it's not knowing, but it's an okayness that I don't know. That's the difference. I don't know, and that's okay.
That's a good point, Michael.
Oh yeah, that's
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dear Us says okayness all the time. I love that. I'm sorry. Who was about to speak, Manny?
Yeah, it's like being content with not knowing and
Mm-hmm.
this okayness also because if you're content with what's happening, it's just like I'm enjoying this. This is like a meeting of a homecoming of 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 life itself that's always here. And I like Jenny when you talk about the avatar because that's my self-centered ego. And it's been programmed to believe in itself. And,
Mm-hmm.
and I could just notice it, like you're saying, it's not a big deal. It's just you can play with it. It's after a while you get to see that nothing is that as it appears. Therefore, this homecoming is wonderful.
Yay.
All the thoughts, feelings, emotions, everything are being drawn back home.
Mm.
And there's that avatar resisting it, saying that no, no. I was at a meeting last night where people were saying, "No, I don't want to give up." I don't want.
Oh, yeah. Which is so beautiful and innocent.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, thank you for sharing, Manny.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I have this question because Nina raised the issue of aha moments and just popped up right now. Who or what is having these aha moments? If everything is already what has already ever been, who is having the aha moments?
It's just play. Knowing what it's like to have an aha when there's no lack or need.
Hmm.
it's the joy of finding ourselves after we lost ourselves.
Mm.
Yeah. Just
Like
clear.
peekaboo, and then
Yeah,
you don't know
peekaboo.
where you are, and then hello, I'm here, and it's like
The game
there's
of
that
hide and
aha.
seek. Mm-hmm.
It's it's joyful, and that joyfulness is our true nature.
Mm-hmm.
It wants to remember
Mm.
after it forgot.
It's beautiful.
So beautiful. Oh,
Yeah, it was so that was my first question. I was like, wow, this is so obvious. What the hell? What was covering it up? And it was clear that it was I just misidentified this pure awareness, this pure sentience, which is non-computational, which is, you know, with the concept of body, the concept of thoughts, the concept of which objectified it. That's what happened. So then everything became an object. So then freedom became an object, which is just a thought or concept. And what is anything without a thought? And what is perceiving the thought? That which is perceiving the thought is the source of the thought. They got lost in the thought, which is so innocent and easy to do because you're God and whatever you pay attention to, you are. So it's like it's so easy. It was so easy to misidentify with the, and so then it's like, holy shit, this pure aliveness, this feeling, this felt sense I am, this conscious presence without thoughts, that's non-conceptual, is all there is. There's not even objects. There's not even anything, that's and appearing, imaginary thoughts, concepts, appearing as this to explore, make love to itself. It's very sensual. It's very, and all of it is ecstasy. It's all bliss. Even the thought, this can't be it. That's it. Even the longing is what's longed for.
Yeah, we want to play.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently.
Yeah, playground, infinite playground.
Yeah, you would, Leela.
It's like being in this world, but not of it without that guilt.
Yeah.
That guilt, that contraction of guilt or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, and then there's like a seeing and noticing illusions all around, but that's okay too. It's like it doesn't have to be hard anymore.
It's like in the Bible where one of the commandments is thou shalt not put idols before me. And we believe in ourselves like an entity, and it turns
Mm-hmm.
into a thought form, and we basically worship this idea of being separate.
Mm-hmm.
It's our drug of choice.
Yeah. Yeah, like my friend Jack says, it mischievously doesn't want to look at itself. So it'll, which is, I could see that. I was like, holy shit, I've been distracting myself with thoughts and problems to solve and worries just so that I could keep identifying as this avatar.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that I didn't want to wake up while I was seeking. That's exactly what was
Mhm.
Yes.
happening.
Yeah, and there's
Yes.
even a satisfaction with it because you're worshiping yourself. You're like, it's like there's something pleasurable about the seeking as well. I remember it was like a addiction or something.
It's that spiritual ego, in a way, thinking it's arrived. And it's better than all the other sleepers out there. It's awake and everyone's sleeping.
Oh, it's so
Oh, how
cute.
funny.
Such self-deception.
Yeah.
We like to play with control. We like
Hmm?
it's just like little kids playing house with dolls.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference with that is we're not taking it seriously. We're not
It's such an absurdity to even remotely believe that there is something separate. It could not
Yeah.
make any sense.
Yes. Totally. It doesn't even make any sense. Not even logical, like I said, like it
No,
just
yeah, not even logical.
but there was that innocent not questioning it. When there wasn't a questioning it, it was just kind of, you know, lost in the delusion.
These words we're speaking, they remind me of a shower, like the water being poured over us when we're in the shower, and it just washes everything away. Like words can be used for many different ways,
Mm-hmm.
but being here, it feels like the words are used to collapse all the illusions and wash away all of the things that
Mm.
that cause apparent division.
Mm-hmm.
It's washing it away.
We
It
can
is.
notice how immaculate this already is. It's so fleeting, it can't be grasped. Every moment is a pristine, every instant.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you notice something, it's gone.
right? It's not happening.
Yeah. Can't grasp it.
No, trying to define this is laughable.
Oh, yeah.
How can there be someone to control this when it's so fleeting? It's just free fall,
Hmm.
no continuum.
Mm-hmm.
It's like being in a dream, and at some point you realize that you're the dreamer, and then at some point you realize that there is no dreamer.
Yeah.
Yay.
All there
Exactly.
Boom.
is dreaming. All there is dreaming.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Thank you.
Nice. There's a
Beautiful.
good intro.
Mm. It's amazing.
To
It's
add an interpretation of sitting here, um, just feeling a sense of joy, like an instrument that is resonating with what is being said and finding its way to be more in tune, but also realizing that I was always in tune. So there's an attraction, a joy, a pairing with the resonance, but
Yeah.
then this awakening to there's nothing to do. There's no, um, gap that's being covered. It's just,
Yeah.
the thought of attunement already being attuned.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's it.
Gorgeous, effortless.
Mm-hmm. Effortless. It already is. Yeah. It
Two
already.
already. Two already.
Mm-hmm. Too easy too. That's the funny part. That's laughable as well. It's like this feeling. I am. That's it. It's already done. This feeling. I'm alive. This aliveness, this sentience has no word. It just is. That's it.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So already means it's done.
Yeah. Already
Hmm.
done and just for fun.
And thoughts are free to arise to say, yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
this can't be it. I prefer something better. Well, that's just a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's already allowed.
That's fun. Yeah.
Free
Playful.
already. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't feel like a game though when you're there. So before I was feeling sort of free and joyous and in the silence, and then some depression came in, just a quick little, what I'm used to, right? And said, well, that's not real what you're talking about there. And then what Manny had mentioned, then I hung on to the depression. It was like, I'm going to hold on to this. I'm not going to let go.
Yeah.
Not going, I am not going to let go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking from there now, so I can play here. I am
Mhm.
not letting go. I am depressed. I love when you say it.
You don't sound
And then it
depressed.
sort of disappears, right? But it's like it's just amazing. It comes and it goes, and the question I've always had in all my spiritual trainings was when you are really depressed, the kind where you're in bed, you can't move, you can't eat, if you can relate to that stuff. Um, in that moment, what can somebody do? What can you do when it is there's where I'm talking about if you know the space. What can and I've asked many great spiritual teachers and they never had an answer.
Yeah.
And so I thought I'd bring it up here and see what we could do with that.
Can I
I'd
tell
Yeah.
say,
you, can
yeah.
I tell you a story about that?
Yeah.
About you guys remember about 20 years ago when Geraldo had his talk show, he went to see Charles Manson in jail.
Oh my gosh.
And they were in a room with a big long table and the camera crew, and Geraldo got angry at Charles. He said, "How could you do this? How could you be this type of man?" And so Charles Manson said, "I never laid a finger on anybody.
Wow.
I'm in here because of my mind and my influence on people." Geraldo started getting angry. His voice started raising up, and so Charles Manson said, "Okay, I see you're getting angry." He said, "Come on, Geraldo, give it to me." And Geraldo started screaming and waving his hands and ran his hand through his hair. He said, "Come on, man, stop half stepping. Give me all of it. I want all of your anger." He said, "I want all of your anger." He just fell up with it, you know. And, and Charles Manson slapped the table. "Come on, man, quit bullshitting. Give me all of it." Geraldo had completely lost his temper, and they went to commercial, you know.
Oh my
I
God.
thought that was the coolest thing because he was letting him know if you experience anger, dive into it like it's a swimming pool.
Yes.
You know, completely immerse yourself in it, because on the other side is complete release.
Totally. That is brilliant.
Wow.
Thank you. That's it.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Charles Manson.
Hell yeah, Charles. That's fucking, that is profound. That's like some wise shit right there.
Yeah.
Because
I
it is
think
the
so. I think
homecoming.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
the
Be with it.
homecoming we're talking about. Like it's when it's allowed to be.
Exactly.
You let it drown you. You let it eat
Exactly.
you alive. And
Lose
the
yourself in
focus
it.
on the feeling without thought dissolves everything. It brings it home. It's all integrated. Yeah.
it's like a portal, and
Mhm.
you become depression like fully. Like there's nothing that tells you it will never end in that moment, you know?
Mhm.
Because you're resisting it. You know, when you resist it, it hangs around, you
Yeah.
know, it clings, you know,
Hmm.
and you let
Yeah.
yourself feel all of it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because what you resist persists because you are everything. So you can't leave anything out.
Yeah, Don. So it's like an open water hose that doesn't have kinks in it, and it just flows through really quickly, and it's very intense, but there's no anticipation of it in the future, and it doesn't linger afterwards. So that's the difference.
There's no intent of wanting to get rid of it
Hmm.
Right.
at
There you
all.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's almost like a full acceptance of it. I remember Thich Nhat
That's
Hanh
it.
was saying that hold it like a baby, gently. Just
Oh,
allow it to be here right now.
But
oh my
you,
God, I love that.
Yeah,
Yes.
just
but you can't. Yeah, I agree. But you can't. When you're in that depression, you can't hold it. You can't say, "Okay, this is depression. I will dive into it.
no, you don't.
I will let
No,
it
there's no
be," because
thoughts.
there's no you there, and I don't mean no you there like the way we're talking about no you here. I'm
Hmm.
talking about it's such a numbness that you can't let it be, and that's the question I have when you're in that state.
Hmm.
It seems like there's nothing you can do.
So there can be resistance, and that's usually happens during like a down period. And it still happens here. Like I've dealt with depression and anxiety my whole life. Um, but but is there an extra layer of resistance on top of that resistance? You see what I mean? So there can be
Mhm.
layers of resistance. So it's just the anxiety, the depression, and the resistance, and there's no resistance to that. If
And
that
there's
makes
just a noticing, right? There's just a
Hmm.
noticing of that resistance.
yeah,
Yeah,
well, nothing
yeah.
says it shouldn't be that way unless you believe a thought that says that.
So we were discussing this actually, Leela, yesterday. The difference is the attention, which habitually had always gone to the story, because
Mhm.
depression was felt here too for many years. And we were discussing yesterday how attention now shifts directly to the feeling of depression
Hmm.
without the story.
Yeah, and it feels like compassion because of course,
Yeah.
this is a hard place to be. This is a hard animal to try to be, to experience being. So there can be compassion.
Also,
The-
to bring it back to the dumpster fire. Sorry. Go ahead, Mandy.
I think it's Herbert.
Oh,
uh,
Herbert. I'm sorry. I didn't know
I,
who was.
I was just going to say the difference is re, aliveness lets you know that depression is here. Here it is. Your resistance is not wanting to experience that,
Mm-hmm.
not
Yeah.
not wanting it to be there. If it's there, you got no choice. So you just let it be what it's going to be.
And
Mm-hmm.
and thought and emotion give it the power that keeps it at bay. Pretty much, it keeps it alive. It's almost like because when you're really there with it, it's almost like I'm aware of it, allowing it to completely be here right
Mm-hmm.
now. You can feel the heat. You can feel and so you give it attributes, you might say, what color is it? How does it feel? So you're there with it so completely that and you're not wanting to kill it.
Right.
See,
Mm-hmm.
that's you're welcoming it
Mm-hmm.
to be part of the whole that you are.
Yeah.
It's not separate from you. It's
That's the
also a part of you. Yeah.
yeah.
It's
And
It,
there's just so much, for me, there was so much attention on thoughts and identification with thoughts that there was a forgetting of what was here, forgetting of the sense gates, forgetting of the breathing in, forgetting of the focus on the body and the sensations. And one example I have, just a memory a couple months ago, we had a 4 hour delay. I don't know where we were. And the crew was not happy. This mind was not happy. It was like saying, fuck this, I can't believe, I mean, it was just going, the
mm-hmm.
thoughts were loud. And so we had the opportunity. There was a lot of resistance to what was happening. The thoughts, I would say the thoughts arising was resisting it. I can, there was a noticing of thoughts big time. And so I sat down on one of the seats, and I just sat there and I just felt into the uncomfortability. I just put all the attention on the sense gates, like on the breathing, in and out, and then the thoughts coming up, and then just bring the tension right back on the hands, on the legs, um, and before I knew it, we were ready to take off, and so it was as if they weren't there, but they were there. But my point is, there was so much focus and attention on shit. I can't believe this. We got to go. God damn it. There was so much identification with that and believing that this was ignored. So I didn't know. Now I don't know. For me, it's more about getting into the body, the sense gates, and just sitting with it. Um, the mind doesn't want that. The mind is avoidance at all costs with the
Mm-hmm.
body. And there's a noticing of that. And there's also a noticing that I'm not that either. Like, who's talking? Who's saying I don't like it?
Mm-hmm.
There's an inquiry going on, and I'm like, oh wow. So let me just sit here and just breathe in, and feel the uncomfortability, the strain in the neck. And it wasn't that, and then it was fine. It wasn't as bad as what the mind was making it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that, Indira. That was beautiful. That was like a therapy session in 2 minutes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's like it penetrated in here the next time my mind goes crazy.
Mm-hmm.
When you said hands on the thighs and the breath, and like, thank you. That, like, it's not that I just heard that cognitively, which I did, but I heard that at that other level where it came in. And so great appreciation.
Yeah, that was beautiful, Indira. And in a
Yeah.
way, it's counterintuitive what we're speaking of because the resistance is pushing it away. And what Indira is sharing is it's actually going the other way. It's coming closer to it, putting your
Mhm.
nose right into it.
Yeah, the resistance is the catalyst to awakening. I mean, to recognizing. It's the intuition.
The
A lot.
last place you wanted to look. Sorry.
Mhm. Yeah. And that which is aware, if you're aware of the depression, then what you are precedes it and not separate from it. It's just the thought, the divided thought. I'm separate from it, which is that causes the suffering. But feeling without thought neutralizes everything. That's the homecoming, because that's what you are, is the pure awareness. So if you're aware of it, the mirror turns around on itself and you can see that you're actually uninvolved with what's appearing to happen. You're untainted, you're untouched, illuminating what's appearing to happen. So it's like being aware of it neutralizes it. And so just even if you're laying in bed with the depression, like I said, like drowning and it, being aware of it, feeling without thought is the homecoming. It brings it home, it neutralizes it, and then it's done. And it can actually stop happening. That can happen too. Or if there are, depressions that come up, it neutralizes fast. Or it get, like
Yeah, when you begin to orient to feeling and sort of being like, okay, I'll drop the story, and you've been dissociated your whole life, and this is sort of new for you. You'll notice that like when small little triggers and a little bit of overwhelm pops up, you're like, oh, I can feel it. So it's usually in the torso. So you're drop the story, fully feel it. It feels like almost fire or something sometimes. And it's really strange. It kind of dissipates when you look at it most of the time. It's just like, oh, thank you for being aware. And then it goes, it
Yeah.
calms down.
yay. It
Yeah.
just wanted to come play on the playground.
It's kind of like the magician needs you at the perfect distance for the magic trick to work, right? Because if you're too close to the magic trick, you might see how it's done. If you're too far away, you're not going to care. So when you're right at that right angle, that's how the thought gets you. Like it's seeming real because you're seeing, but when you go into it, it neutralizes it, like Jenny says.
Yeah, that's the dumpster fire. It destroys the whole universe.
What amazes me is that the feeling of depression is still here, but somehow it's not mine. It's not owned. Yeah. So it will
That's
still happen, anger still happen, everything still happens as it were,
it.
but it's not mine. Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Thank you for saying that, Sopiwe.
Hmm.
Welcome.
It's so
It's
much
love.
lighter.
Has anybody heard about the Tibetan monks? They have a practice called Tumo. Does anybody heard about that?
John has. Tell us.
Tumo is a practice that the Tibetan monks, they go up to the highest point in the mountains in the Himalayas,
Mhm.
and they take off all their clothes and they meditate.
Oh yeah.
Really, you reminded me of this. And they after they meditate inside the cave for so many hours, then they come out and they pour water. They have their attendants pour water. They wrap themselves in sheets and they pour water all over themselves. There's about 8 or 9 or 10 of them. There's a documentary about it. And they lay outside in the cold, 30 below zero, highest mountain
Wow.
temperature. And within an hour, they're smoking. They're
Wow.
completely heated up, and their process is Tumo is a breathing practice, but what they do is they don't necessarily imagine heat in their body. They come into full field awareness of the cold that's around them. In other words, they embody the cold.
Wow. Oh
And
my
at the,
God, I just got
at the
They
chills.
same
are
time,
the cold.
Yeah.
at the same time they're embodying the cold, they're also focusing on the breathing going up and down their spine, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something about the activity of the breathing creates the heat in their body. And it
Beautiful.
first manifests in the heart. And some people call it the heart heat exercise, but it first manifests in the heart. And once they begin to feel the heat, then they go outside, wrap themselves in sheets,
Wow.
pour the water on them, and they sleep all night in the cold,
Oh
just
my,
like you and I on a pillow, you know.
that's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
I love it.
Because they're not resisting the cold, right?
No time are they
That's it.
resisting the cold.
Everything points to this. Everything's the clue, you know? It's like this is
Yes,
all.
they become the cold.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
And
That,
beyond the cold, beyond the temperature, what is there? There's unlimited awareness that is not cold.
yeah.
So which part are we going to focus on? The
Uh-huh.
unlimitedness, the infiniteness, or
Mhm.
just this little tiny being that feels like it's cold?
That's it. You just hit the target.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Herbert. That's amazing.
You should
Thank
come
you.
back next week and tell us
Oh,
more
I know.
stories.
I know. I'm
I'll,
like,
I'll tell you some more stories.
yes, you're amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, everything says this. Everything screams this. Everything sings this because everything is
Mm-hmm.
this. Everything's God
Mm-hmm.
waking itself up from the dream.
And that story doesn't prove that it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that beautiful, Nana?
Mm-hmm.
It's so
Because
clear.
the ego would go, oh, that's real then. So then I have to compare myself to them and I can't do that. And all the stories come out of
Mm-hmm.
making that story real. Then more stories come.
Yeah, this is just seeing your own bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very sober.
But anything's allowed at the same time.
Yeah, it's all free to play.
What's interesting with that story, it felt so intuitive. You know, I didn't have a rule book or anything. It was just a noticing, and it had no words to it. Well, the thoughts, of course, was verbalizing, the situation around where the body was, but to sit and do what it did was intuitive. I can't even explain it.
I did the same thing at the doctor's office yesterday, Indira. After the nurse came in, took my temperature and pulse and my blood pressure, she left, said the doctor will be with you shortly. And I instinctually started to reach for my cell phone out of habit, and something stopped me.
Mm.
And I just sat. I thought, what a great gift for the universe that right now I can just be with this in
Hmm.
silence. And so that's what I did. I would call it communing. This communes with itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Waiting rooms are great for that.
Yeah.
See what my attitude is. Yeah.
But it was so
Yeah.
beautiful, Manny, catching
Yeah.
myself in the act,
Yes.
reaching for the phone, and then something, a light bulb going, no.
I've done that same thing. And then after a while, you say, "Well, what about me? How come they're not opening the door and coming in to deal with me?" And then you catch that, and you just say, "Oh, I'm already okay. All is well right this moment." And I've just I jumped into the avatar suit, and that will was demanding that it be different than it is. It was just demanding that. And then I just come back and say, oh, if I'm home already, why am, well, it's because the momentum of past actions is still going, just like the fan. When it's turned off, it's still turning. And my the momentum of my conditioning is still wanting to go that way, wanting to grab that phone and
Yeah.
just get on YouTube or whatever else to
Give me a
occupy its
distraction.
brain.
And,
Yeah, just to occupy.
and Manny, right? As soon
Yeah.
as you're in that, let's just call it a space, noticing itself, okay? The time disappears and suddenly the fucking doctor opens the door.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, what did I say the other day? This is the woo way up in this bitch or whatever.
That's what you messaged me. Who's up in
Yeah.
this bitch?
That sounds like a good book title. But like in the flow with no resistance, where it's just doing itself, appearing to do itself, like watching a movie that you're not involved with, where it's just happening. There's also like this obviousness that everything is the meditation. It's like everything. Even the playful distractions or whatever, it's amazing.
Yeah, when those little impatience and things like that come up, waiting to get to the next better moment, it's impersonal and it's really cute now,
Yeah. It is adorable.
It's funny that we snap into being a witness to being the totality.
hmm
Strange.
That's
Yeah.
just the flavor. It never changes. It's just sort of like a texture of this sameness.
Yeah, just another game. Yeah.
That's why we get the feeling, oh, I lost it. I have to get back there. It's
Yeah. You never lost it. It is this.
Yeah, but sometimes being the witness, it's a good, let's say, mid-step.
hmm
You sort of step back. You know that it's not actually what's happening, but you sort of detach from certain things, and suddenly you snap into being the totality.
Yes. It's that initial seeing the original face, like the mirror turning
Yeah,
on itself first, and then you can see, oh my gosh, that's what all of this is,
it's almost like a skillful means,
hmm
a provisional help. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna witness this. I'm not any of this, and suddenly you are the totality. You are all of this,
Yes.
and then you are back again.
anything can happen.
Yeah.
It's so cool to not even hold on to that story. I mean, it's just a memory and it never really happened. All of it.
hmm
Every second is being deleted, even after every word here. It's just gone.
Yeah. Like even this
Yeah.
morning, that was a dream. It even looks dreamlike. It's like
Mm.
foggy, you know? I don't even remember what happened. It didn't happen.
That's our joy, is when the past just becomes obsolete. It's like then you
Mhm.
full on, full on.
Yeah. It's like being born every timeless moment, a clean slate, not even happening.
Yeah, did anything ever happen without a thought?
A good one.
Yeah, this is a real over here. It's a real privilege. Um, listening to this wisdom, I get this sense it's like the wisdom of the ages, going all the way back to the beginning. It's all being spoken in different ways through different life experiences. And it leads, and listening to this, it leads me to the heart. And in the heart, it's like everything is okay. It's like theory or how it is or to talk about it or anything is okay, but it's like it's okay. Not that it's great, not that it's not that it's even bliss or that kind of stuff. It's just, it's like the heart is like it doesn't, it's just there. It doesn't go out. It doesn't think in terms of bliss or how it feels. It's just, I don't know. It's like a deep space, a deep space that's completely full, like a completely empty space that's completely full. And I'm so grateful because it is that in an hour this can occur here out of this group.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna think that, okay, this is my creation. This is my playground, and I'm in the sandbox, and you are my friends playing in the sandbox. And I just, how do I say this? That I appreciate that. I appreciate, I appreciate the heart. So it's not even like I appreciate you. I do, but I appreciate the heart that would create you to be in my sandbox.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
That's beautiful. Thank you. It's so beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you for creating us. Thank you for creating us.
Yay. You're the source.
You hold all the cards, Dawn.
Look at this beautiful rendered evidence, It's
Case
amazing.
closed.
Yeah, exactly.
Case closed.
Sums it
Wow.
all up.
What a joy. What a joy to be with all of you. Here, this is not taken lightly. It's a rare privilege to be with all of you. Any last comments or questions before we close out today?
It's really beautiful being here, and thank you everyone for just sharing words of nothing. It's really beautiful listening to you all.
Yay.
It's always a pleasure sharing this room with you all. It's always amazing. Thank you so much. It always feels like coming home. As you guys were speaking about coming home, I'm thinking about a dream. It's like all dream characters coming home, and what is there when they come home? It's nothing. When you wake up, there's no character. That's how this room feels like to me. It feels like coming home.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank
you. Yes,
Thank you.
all embracing, all encompassing, all pervading this love, this aliveness, this feeling I'm alive. That's it. Like dying in your own arms. You were the lover that never left you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Michael.
Hugs.
Have a
Jenny.
great rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you for all.
Thanks, Leela.
Thank you, guys.
You.
Thank you.